Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel Twist&Turn with Neville. On today's video, before we get to it, I'd like to say thank you very much for everyone who heeded the call regarding the Mngomezulu's bank account, and thanks to everyone who managed maybe to go to the funeral and attend. Unfortunately for some of us, we couldn't attend, we couldn't go because I was at work, but I would have loved to go. And without any further ado, let's get to today's video. The Senzo Meyiwa murder trial has been rocked by yet another shocking twist: the untimely passing of Advocate Mngomezulu, the lawyer representing accused number 1. With his funeral held on the 14th of December 2024, questions loom. How will this loss reshape the trial? What does it mean for justice in one of South Africa's most controversial cases? Stay tuned as we unpack the ripple effects of this tragic event. Advocate Thulani Mngomezulu was the defense lawyer for Muzika Sibiya, accused number 1 in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. He joined the case during an important phase known as the trial within a trial in October 2023, focused on the admissibility of confession statements made by Sibiya and Ntanzi. He was recognized for his active involvement in legal proceedings, supporting his client with various legal challenges. Unfortunately, Mngomezulu passed away on the 10th of December 2024, which has impacted the contribution to the trial, particularly for Sibiya, who must now decide on new legal representation. The late Advocate Mngomezulu's contribution to the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial was significant for several reasons. Reason number 1: legal strategy and defense. He was instrumental in shaping the defense strategy for Muzi Sibiya. His legal insight was key to the trial within a trial, where he challenged the admissibility of Sibiya's confession statements, arguing that they were obtained under duress or through improper procedures. His arguments aimed to exclude crucial evidence against his client, potentially impacting the outcome of the trial. Reason number 2: public perception and advocacy. Mngomezulu's articulate and passionate advocacy not only served his client but also influenced the public perception of the case. He brought attention to issues of police conduct, the rights of the accused, and the complexities of the legal procedures in South Africa, particularly in high-profile cases. His approach often highlighted systemic issues within the judicial system, sparking broader discussions on legal rights and fairness. Reason number 3: impact on case dynamics. His involvement brought a dynamic change to the defense team's approach, possibly changing the course of courtrooms arguments and cross-examinations. His reputation and experience likely had an impact on how both prosecution and other defense lawyers operated, considering his known firmness and legal insight. Following Mngomezulu's untimely death, his work on this case leaves a significant void. His strategies, legal arguments, and the relationship he built with his client and the court will require another advocate to carry forward. This transition could potentially shift the momentum of Sibiya's defense, given the personal and strategic loss. Beyond the courtroom, Mngomezulu's work on this case has educational value. It serves as a real-world example for law students and practitioners in South Africa on how to handle complex criminal defense, especially in cases involving confession statements and human rights. Mngomezulu's contribution to the Senzo Meyiwa case therefore not only affected the legal proceedings directly, but also had broader implications for legal practice, public discourse on justice, and the rights of the accused in South Africa. His work remains a benchmark for support in high-stake trials. The trial pertains to the murder of Senzo Meyiwa, former captain of Orlando Pirates and Bafana Bafana. Meyiwa was killed on October 26, 2014 at the home of his then girlfriend Kelly Komalo in Vosloorus, as some would say, Gauteng. 5 men, Muzika Ukhulelwa Sibiya, Bongani Ntanzi, Mthobisi Ncube, Mthokoziseni Maphisa, and Fisokohle Ntuli, are accused in his murder. They face charges including murder, attempted murder, robbery with aggravating circumstances, possession of an unlicensed firearm and ammunition. And speaking of these charges and these accused that are standing trial right now, as we know the trial, people who believe that these are the accused who performed or who orchestrated or who executed the plan of taking out Senzo Meyiwa's life, those people are in for a surprise. But then there's nothing more we can say about such, because even the judge or who is presiding over this trial, everyone would tell you, Uti, that judge is biased, that judge doesn't have respect for his subordinates, that judge doesn't even care as long as he's dancing to the tune of the state prosecutor George Baloyi and his goofy and listening to their lead investigator who botched the investigation of this trial since it began, Brigadier Kininda. If we were to say something about that, we'd say he's been saved by the bell. He's been saved by the bell since Advocate Mngomezulu is no longer alive. He's been saved by the bell because, boy, we were waiting for that moment to come. And unfortunately, God's timing didn't allow us to witness such happen in that courtroom. A significant portion of the trial was dedicated to the trial within a trial to determine the admissibility of confession statements made by Sibiya and Ntanzi, suggesting they were coerced. And Vele, tell me, how on earth can the statements which are known to be confession statements aphume nje kalula kanjalo without the police making an effort into motivating you as an accused into confessing what you've done? Obviously, there was some force that was applied to the accused. There was something that was applied, because angeke kwenzeke ukuthi kuphume a statement esithiwa a confession statement amaphoyisa angakuthintanga. That would never happen, at least not in South Africa. Leyo nto leyo bengeke yenzeka. These guys bashayiwe, these guys baviolatiwe, and it's so unfortunate because some people believe ukuthi these charges that ekhulunywa ngawo on this trial vele they fit their narrative and vele yabafanele yonke le nto yenzeka lapha. Because nami at some point I wouldn't lie, at some point I believed the same until, well, evidence and some of the stories came to light, and then I was like, no, this thing khona la elahleke khona from the beginning as uzanayo going ahead. But then what can we say? Now a courtroom before our eyes and the judge is busy doing whatever he's doing. If he allowed those confession statements and said they are admissible, what more do you think is going to happen to this accused at the end of the day when he's delivering the judgment? I foresee him handing down a hefty sentence to all of them. And it's so unfortunate it's so unfortunate for that to be happening in that courtroom. But then I got a Pumi verdict, but as we see the trial moving forward, all we can tell Wuti, the verdict is already out. It's only a matter of time. The court has seen extensive testimony from various witnesses, including police officers, forensic experts, and those present at the crime scene. There have been controversies over the handling of evidence and integrity of the investigation, with allegations of evidence being cooked up or omitted. You know, when we mention just that part alone, it would always remind us of the late Advocate Mngomezulu, because he was the one who was very much vocal about that this evidence is cooked up, you are putting in spices, stuff like that. We will always remember him for those words that he uttered during that day. And Mhlaba awunoni. That's all I can say. Mhlaba awunoni. Death, where's your sting? The death of Advocate Thulani Mngomezulu on December 10, 2024 marked a significant development. This event caused a temporary halt in proceedings for accused 1, Moses Biya, as he needed to find new legal representation. Mngomezulu was the defense lawyer for Mozga Biya, accused number 1. He joined the case during the trial within a trial in October 2023, focusing on challenging the validity of Biya's confession. Mngomezulu's legal strategy was crucial in questioning methods used by the police during the arrest and interrogation of Biya, aiming to undermine the prosecution's evidence. His work complemented the efforts of other defense lawyers in the case, notably Sipho Ramusipile, who was initially representing Biya. Mngomezulu's advocacy was seen as bringing a high level of legal expertise to the defense, particularly in the shady area of confession admissibility. Following Mngomezulu's death, the trial faced delays as Biya had to secure new representation. This has led to discussions about continuity of legal defense strategies and potential impact on the trial's outcome. The trial has been postponed until January 8, 2025 to allow time for Biya to arrange his legal representation. This development underscores the challenges of long-running, high-profile cases where challenges in legal personnel can affect proceedings. The trial continues to be a focal point for legal, social, and media scrutiny in South Africa, not only for its high-profile nature, but also for the complexities and controversies it has unearthed in the judicial process. The death of Advocate Thulani Mngomezulu has profound implications for the legal representation of accused number 1, Mozga Biya, in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. Here's how his passing might affect Biya's defense. The trial has been temporarily halted as Biya needs to secure new legal representation. This delay could extend the trial's timeline, potentially affecting the momentum and strategy of the defense. Mngomezulu was not just a lawyer, but a key strategist in the defense during the trial within a trial. His in-depth knowledge of the case, especially regarding the admissibility of Biya's confession, might be challenging to replicate quickly. A new lawyer will need time to familiarize themselves with the intricacies of the case, which could alter the defense's approach. Building a relationship of trust between Biya and the new counsel can take time. Mngomezulu had established a working relationship with his client, which could influence how Biya interacts with and trusts his new legal team. There's been mention of Biya potentially seeking assistance from Legal Aid South Africa. However, past issues with changing legal counsel might complicate this process. If Biya's family has been financially supporting his defense, the additional burden might influence the choice of a new lawyer or even the quality of legal representation he can afford. The new attorney might bring a different perspective or approach to the case. This could mean a shift in legal tactics, either continuing Mngomezulu's line of defense or adopting a new strategy. And we never know. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. Everything will just be unfolded right before our eyes as we continue to follow this trial as it plays out on the media, as everyone can see what is happening in that courtroom. And that could either benefit or hinder the defense depending on how well it aligns with the evidence and courtroom dynamics. The prosecution and the court might need to adjust to a new defense, potentially affecting how evidence is presented or cross-examined. Mngomezulu's unique style and arguments were part of the trial's dynamic, and change could alter this balance. The loss of a defense attorney, especially one who was actively involved in navigating a complex trial, can be emotionally taxing for Sibiya. This stress might affect his demeanor and engagement in the courtroom. If the new lawyer requires extensive preparation time, including reviewing the case files, transcripts, and consulting with Sibiya, this could lead to further delays in the trial, potentially stretching it into an even longer ordeal. In summary, Mngomezulu's death introduces significant variables into the trial's equation for accused number one. The new legal representation must quickly get up to speed, maintain the defense's vigor and strategy, all while potentially navigating through emotional and procedural aftermath of losing a key team member. The trial's next step will depend on how swiftly and effectively new counsel can be appointed and prepared. The immediate effect has been the postponement of the trial to January 8, 2025 to allow time for Sibiya to find new legal representation. This delay can disrupt the flow of defense's narrative and argumentation. Mngomezulu was about to begin cross-examining the lead investigator, Brigadier Gininda. His sudden departure means the defense loses the immediate strategic momentum he had built, particularly in challenging the admissibility of evidence. There's an urgent need to appoint new counsel who can quickly adapt to the case's complexities. This transition period could lead to a less cohesive defense if the new lawyer isn't as familiar with the case's details and history. Sibiya must quickly adjust to working with the new legal counsel, potentially affecting the trust and communication necessary for a robust defense. The new attorney might reassess or modify the defense strategy. They might choose to continue Mngomezulu's approach or change to a different tactic depending on their assessment of the case's direction. The new lawyer will need time to thoroughly review case documents, witness testimonies, and legal patterns, which could lead to more refined but potentially delayed defense strategy. With fresh eyes, the new counsel might identify new angles or weaknesses in the prosecution's evidence, or conversely might miss some of Mngomezulu's insight into the case. The defense strategy for all accused might need recalibration, as Mngomezulu's arguments were part of a broader team strategy. This could lead to a less harmonized defense if not carefully managed. Depending on how Sibiya secures his new representation, there might be shift in the resources available for his defense. Legal aid might impose constraints on strategy due to budget considerations. The long-term emotional impact on Sibiya could influence his participation and engagement in his defense. How the defense adapts to this change could influence how the court, media, and public perceive the defense's capability and preparedness. A seamless transition might bolster confidence, while a fumble could weaken the defense's standing. The defense might file for further delays to adequately prepare, potentially drawing out the trial and affecting the overall strategy by allowing more time for evidence analysis and new motions. While the immediate impact is clear in terms of disruptions and delay, The long-term effects will hinge on how well the new legal representation can adapt, strategize, and integrate into ongoing trial dynamics. The defense's ability to maintain or regain its footing after such a significant loss will be crucial in shaping the outcome for Muzika Ukhulelo's Biya. Thank you for watching the video up to this far. If you've been watching up to this far, thank you very much for all the time you've taken to watch the video and everything that I've been doing on this channel. I thank you again once more for your support, for your love, and for everything that you've done for this channel up to this far. And from me to you at this point, I'll be ending this video, and thank you very much. See you next time. Please take care. Peace. I'm signing out.